The age difference is 30 years between us, exactly. But we seem to love everything that's the same. I realized that maybe I do want to have a child. It's complicated.
Are you going to cause a pregnancy? That's the stretch.
So I had a mild fender bender traffic crash, and the funny thing is I don't know, I think I have a thing for a man in uniform. I was totally thinking, oh my gosh, I wonder if the officer's gonna be really cute. And Larry, he popped out of the car and I was like, oh, well, he's cute, but like he's a little too old for me. And we just had to keep in contact for the police report, and I just fell. Quick. Really, it started out with a bunch of calls and texts, and we got really close really fast. There was no stopping it. Once it happened, there was no stopping it. And boom, here we are.
You got stuck with me.
I know. Yeah, but I'm glad.
I'm happy.
Thanks. Now everybody's gonna make sure I do it. Now I have to jump in. Oh gosh.
Ooh, that's cool.
That's like life advice though. Just jump in and do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
You look at me and you look at her and you realize there's the age gap, and that thought process didn't even really register initially. It was, oh, wow. Want me to dunk you?
No.
No.
Mess up the make.
For everything to snowball to get to the point where we're sitting here now, having been married for a couple years, year and a half.
Yeah.
No, I've won the lottery.
That's dedication and the love. The love.
No, you can't do the top.
You can't do the top row.
Oh, you can't.
You put it back on the top.
The age difference scared me, and I was terrified of what everybody else would think. And now it doesn't matter. People still look, people stare at us sometimes, people make comments. It doesn't really bother us now, but it did. So my family was the hardest to tell just because I was afraid of what they would think. I did eventually tell them all.
Concerns that I possibly had were the difference in the age is what's going to happen with financial stability going down the road. Who's going to be taking care of who?
There's a difference between someone at 20 and 50, which is where their current age gap is in their 20s and 50s, compared to being married and then all of a sudden it's 50s and 80s. And that is a little concerning because you're in a different place in your life. You know, you're going to be more of a caregiver when you're kind of in a prime zone, possibly. I was very concerned about her not having children and perhaps being alone. Plus he's older than us, so what if we're all gone?
So my brother Jimmy, he took it the hardest with Larry and I being a couple, and it really upset me because I was expecting him to take it totally different. Like, I just thought that he would accept it and understand.
She did not tell me the age gap, so it was a bit of a shock for me walking into the house when you see a 50-year-old dude with your sister who's 24. Like, what is going on right now? Didn't like him at all at first. It was just definitely weird. But I saw my friends would constantly like, yo, your sister's like so beautiful. What is she doing with someone so much older than her? Does he have money? He's not rich and he's older. I mean, like, at least get a Bill Gates or something so I can get a boat out of this. I need something. There was none of that. However, it turns out he is a great guy.
It seemed to me like they liked the same things.
I killed it.
I had no troubles with that, and I'm just glad that they managed to get together.
So I have a YouTube channel, and actually for the first year, I did not mention Larry at all. I kept it all Harry Potter related and beauty related. I didn't want anybody to know, just because the world is, it's kind of judgy. Usually I'm surrounded by Harry Potter merchandise and I'll just get ready and I'm looking at it and talking about it, and it's kind of how we do it. My husband is the fixer, upper, and the builder, not me. So I didn't bring him up in my videos at all, and people got really curious about us. And when I did finally bring him up, people were so supportive. Are you nervous? Okay, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Is my #1 most requested video for literally the last. Obviously, as you can tell, we do have an age difference, and I had so many lovely supportive comments, which made me so happy because I don't want to hide Larry. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a Harry Potter haul. Larry has had a vasectomy. Actually, he had it almost around the year that I was born, which is kind of funny. And before we got married, I completely knew that he couldn't have children, and I was okay with it. We had talked about it. Larry didn't really want to have children. He was retiring, and I was okay with that. And then about a month before we got married, I went into panic mode thinking, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm getting married now. I'm supposed to have a family. And the urologist that we're going to see, his name is Dr. Stein, right? Mm-hmm. He specializes in reversals. So he's not just a urologist. He specializes in the reversals and the vasectomies. We're meeting him basically to see if the reversal is even an option for us. Feeling a little nervous about the appointment. I'm excited to hear what they're gonna say, but I'm nervous for the outcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
You had one child with a prior partner.
Yes.
You had a vasectomy after that one,
That's correct.
25 years ago. Now, you've been together for a long time, 7 years.
Yeah.
And why did you wait so long?
Right before we got married, I was okay with not having children.
I always say, if you knew that this was going to work, but that you were going to give birth to a 14-year-old, would you still want to do it?
I probably would, but knowing myself as a 14-year-old, that's scary.
Are you going to have sperm in your semen? I think you probably are. Are you going to cause a pregnancy? That's the stretch. In other words, over the 25 years, despite that nodule, has there been anything else going on? They're here for a baby. So you're evaluating a couple. You're not just evaluating one male. She has a pretty high likelihood of getting pregnant by virtue of her youth with artificial insemination using donor sperm. Maybe even if he got sperm back, if his semen quality wasn't as great as it might have been before his vasectomy, she has a better chance than would a 37-year-old partner. And that Larry's in pretty good health otherwise. So he's a pretty good candidate. Whether he wants to take on the challenge of a child when he's 57, only he can determine whether that's something that he wants to be part of his later years.
We're looking at a $6,000 procedure with a recovery. But even then, if he can connect it, it still is not going to guarantee the point he was trying to get at. It still will not guarantee that the sperm is going to actively flow through, correct? So you're looking at a $6,000 cost with potential loss, the procedure not being effective, versus, I guess, using a sperm donor, which is $2,000, and it is going to work. So he had brought up to Larry that the other options would be, if it's not worth it to do the vasectomy, the other options would be to use a sperm donor or to adopt. It wouldn't be your child.
It's something I need to research. I just don't have all the answers. I would have questions, but I would need to research that before we went any further.
Yeah, which is understandable.
It does smell fresh.
When we go out in public, I used to get so nervous about holding his hand in public or kissing him in public or doing anything in public. So when they see us touching, holding hands, just something as simple as that, it creates a problem, which used to scare me a lot. Now it doesn't. I'm used to it.
We went to Home Depot to buy boxes to move things.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to the checkout line, and the cashier said, "Oh, it's so nice Dad's helping you get boxes so you can move your things to college."
Honestly, I was 25 and she thought I was in high school graduating and Dad's helping me pack up for college, and I was like, well, no.
Yeah, it works. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I waited 50 years for Mindy. I don't know how long the ride is going to last, for lack of better, but it was worth the wait.
At the end of the day, you have to do what's best for you. You have to follow your feelings.
Yeah.